What if I told you that the life you're living, the endless grind, the stress, the exhaustion, was never truly your choice? That society, culture, and systems around you have been quietly programming you to work until you die. Today, we'll uncover the psychological forces and personal truths behind this conditioning and how you can break free before it's too late. The invisible social contract. What you're really signed up for. From the moment we enter society, we are handed an unspoken, invisible contract, a script written not by us, but for us. This contract demands that we dedicate the majority of our lives to work, to earning, to producing. It whispers that success means climbing the corporate ladder, owning a house, and retiring one day far in the future. But what it rarely tells us is that this cycle was designed to keep us compliant, distracted, and exhausted. Psychologically, this contract exploits our need for security and belonging. We seek approval from family, peers, and authority figures, often equating hard work with worthiness. The system feeds on this, creating a culture where identity and value become synonymous with job title and income. The invisible contract demands that you sacrifice your passions, your time, and sometimes your health, all for a promise of eventual freedom that may never arrive. The danger is that you don't realize you've signed this contract because it feels normal, even inevitable. It's woven into schools, media, and social expectation. But when you pause and look deeply, you see that this script limits you. It programs you to believe that your life's purpose is work, not living. Breaking free starts with awareness that this contract is neither sacred nor unavoidable. You have the power to rewrite your story. Recognize what you've been signed up for and decide if you're willing to live by those invisible rules or if you will create a new path where your life is not about working until you die, but truly living today. How childhood conditioning shapes your work ethic. Your relationship with work didn't begin as an adult. It started in childhood, long before you understood money, purpose, or ambition. The beliefs and values about work you hold today were programmed deep inside your psyche through family, schooling, and culture. Maybe you grew up hearing, work hard or you'll never get anywhere, or money doesn't grow on trees. These messages were not just words, they became emotional imprints. They shaped your sense of self-worth and how you view effort and success. Childhood conditioning often equates work with survival and love, so you learn that to be worthy, you must constantly prove yourself through productivity. This programming creates a powerful work ethic, but it can also become a double-edged sword. When work becomes a measure of your value, rest feels like laziness, and play feels like a waste. You push yourself relentlessly, believing that if you stop, you'll lose your place, your security, or your respect. Psychologically, this conditioning hardwires your brain for performance over presence. You become trapped in a loop where work equals identity, and identity equals worth. The deeper wound is that your true self, the creative, spontaneous, vulnerable part, gets buried under expectations. Healing starts with recognizing that your worth is not your work. You are allowed to rest, to explore, to simply be. Untangling from childhood programming means reclaiming your right to live beyond productivity and rediscovering your true value, just as you are. The role of fear in keeping you stuck in the grind. Fear is one of the most powerful psychological forces that keep you chained to the grind. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of poverty, and even fear of freedom itself create an invisible cage around your potential. This fear often feels unconscious. It whispers that if you stop working so hard, you'll lose everything: your job, respect, security. It convinces you that staying busy is safer than risking change, even if that change could lead to a more fulfilling life. Fear activates the brain's survival mechanisms, hijacking rational thought and fueling a fight-or-flight response. When overwhelmed, your mind narrows to immediate survival. Work hard, don't question, don't stray. This creates a cycle where anxiety drives productivity, and productivity temporarily soothes anxiety, but the deeper dissatisfaction remains. On a personal level, fear of the unknown is terrifying. The comfort of routine, even a draining one, feels safer than the uncertainty of change. Yet, this fear is a mirage. It's not safety, it's stagnation disguised as protection. To break free, you must confront fear directly. This doesn't mean reckless leaps, but small, brave steps into discomfort. It means building trust in yourself that you can handle change and uncertainty. Fear is a signal that growth is possible. When you learn to walk through it, your chains begin to fall away. Your freedom lies on the other side of fear. Until you face it, the grind will feel like a prison you can't escape. Why busyness is the new badge of honor. In today's world, being busy isn't just normal, it's celebrated. We wear busyness like a badge of honor, proof that we're important, driven, and successful. How are you? Busy, we say with pride, as if exhaustion is a sign of value. But behind this cultural glorification of hustle lies a psychological trap. Busyness distracts us from deeper questions about meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. It keeps us so occupied that we don't have time to ask, am I actually happy? Busyness becomes a socially accepted form of avoidance. If you're always rushing, you never have to sit in silence with your thoughts, your regrets, or your inner emptiness. The grind gives you an identity, even if it's one built on burnout. Psychologically, the need to be constantly busy often masks a fear of inadequacy. If you slow down, you might have to face the uncomfortable truth that your life has been shaped more by obligation than inspiration. That realization can be painful, so you keep moving. Breaking the busyness trap starts with redefining what success looks like for you. Is it constant productivity, or is it inner peace? Is it external validation or internal alignment? Real power comes from being able to pause, reflect, and choose your direction, not just react to demands. When you stop seeing busyness as a badge and start seeing it as a red flag, you open the door to living with intention instead of running on autopilot. The psychology of success and the moving finish line, success as it's sold to us, is a mirage. You're told that if you just work hard enough, you'll reach it, only to find that the finish line keeps moving. You get the job, and now you need the promotion. You hit the income goal, and now you need more. The goalpost always shifts. This isn't a coincidence. It's a psychological mechanism that keeps you chasing instead of arriving. The system thrives on this endless pursuit. If success ever felt complete, you might stop consuming, stop grinding, stop playing the game. So instead, you're conditioned to equate success with achievement, not fulfillment. This breeds a dangerous mindset. I'll rest when. I'll be happy when. But the when never comes, because you've been taught to seek external validation over internal truth. Psychologically, this moving finish line activates the brain's reward system in the same way addiction does. You get a dopamine hit from achievement, but the satisfaction fades quickly, leaving you craving the next win. The result? A life spent climbing, never arriving. To break the cycle, you must redefine success on your own terms, not what looks good on paper, but what feels right in your soul. Success isn't a destination, it's a state of being. When you stop chasing and start aligning, you realize you don't need to prove anything. You're already enough. And from that place, you can build a life that nourishes instead of drains you. Burnout is not a badge, it's a warning sign. Burnout has become so common that it's practically normalized. People wear their exhaustion like it's proof of commitment. But burnout isn't noble. It's a warning sign from your soul that you've strayed too far from yourself. Psychologically, burnout isn't just about working long hours. It's about emotional disconnection, loss of meaning, and the slow erosion of your inner spark. It happens when your energy is constantly given away without renewal, when your output is high, but your input, rest, joy, purpose, is missing. Burnout is your body's rebellion against a life misaligned. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. It's your system saying, I can't live like this anymore. But because we live in a culture that equates worth with work, we ignore the signs. We drink more coffee, push through the fatigue and call it discipline. We fear stopping because rest feels like failure. This is the lie, that you must destroy yourself to be worthy, that burnout is a badge of honor. In truth, burnout is the soul screaming for realignment. Healing starts when you listen, when you create space to rest without guilt, to reflect without shame, to feel without numbing. Burnout is not the end. It's an invitation to reset, to rebuild, to reclaim your life from the grind. The myth of retirement and the lie of later. You're told to work hard now so you can enjoy life later. Save for retirement, delay your dreams, put joy on hold. But what if later never comes? The retirement myth sells the idea that freedom is something you earn at the end of your life, after decades of sacrifice. But this illusion keeps you stuck in the grind, believing that suffering today guarantees happiness tomorrow. Psychologically, this postponement mindset is dangerous. It trains your brain to live in a perpetual future, never in the now. You keep waiting for the right time to rest, travel, create, or simply breathe. But life doesn't begin after retirement. It's happening right now. The deeper issue is that by the time many reach retirement, they're too depleted, physically, emotionally, spiritually, to fully enjoy it. The years of burnout take a toll, and sometimes life throws the unexpected. Later turns into never. The truth is, your life is not a rehearsal. It's not a waiting room. Every day you postpone living, you lose a day you can never get back. This doesn't mean abandon all responsibility. It means stop postponing your joy. Stop sacrificing the present for a future that may never arrive. Freedom isn't a destination, it's a decision, and the time to choose is now. How to redesign your life around living, not just working. Redesigning your life starts with a radical question. What would your days look like if you weren't just working to survive? This isn't about quitting your job tomorrow. It's about shifting the foundation of your choices from fear to alignment, from obligation to intention. It means questioning the defaults, why you do what you do, and whether it still serves you. Psychologically, this requires breaking free from learned helplessness, the belief that you have no control. You do, but reclaiming it takes courage. Start small. Carve out time for rest without guilt. Say no to obligations that drain you. Reconnect with passions you buried under productivity. Design your life with presence, not pressure. This process will feel uncomfortable. You'll question your identity. Others might not understand, but each choice becomes a vote for the life you truly want. Redesigning your life isn't about escaping work. It's about restoring balance. It's about remembering that you are more than what you produce. Your life should be lived, not just managed. When you align your days with what truly matters, work becomes part of life, not the whole of it. You stop surviving and start living. The system was never designed to set you free. It was built to keep you grinding, chasing, and doubting your enoughness. But awareness is the first form of rebellion. You don't have to accept the invisible contract. You don't have to run on fear, burnout, or busyness. You can wake up, you can choose differently, and you can live a life that feels like yours. The truth is this: you were not born to work until you die. You were born to live fully, presently, freely. And that revolution begins the moment you decide you're no longer available for anything less.